Hey guys, my name is Jordan Mitchner, and I chose to do my presentation today over the Zulu culture. It is actually pretty personal to me because my boyfriend's mom is of the Zulu tribe, so I got to go to her for a lot of the information that I have today, and I've learned a lot of it from her in the past couple of months. But I've also found some external information from different websites for everyone else that you can go look at. So some background knowledge from comparethecoffin.com. Zulu-speaking people, their burial rites differ from region to region. So like different days and different times is when you'll be buried. And not all Zulu follow the same path of how they do things. So one tribe might bury in a different place while the other does different things. Some may do the hole through the wall, pulling the body through a hole in the wall thing, and some may not. It just kind of depends on how they celebrate life and death. The deceased are treated with much respect, and depending on the seniority and affordability, most of them will be wrapped in cowhide as they are being buried. Their coffin and casket are taken back to the family home so the mourners can come through and file in and pay their respects. Women are usually not allowed towards the gravesite, so they have like a marked area off-site to sit to watch the service. And most Zulu of the deceased aren't buried in municipal cemeteries just because anyone can be buried there, like the sinners and the unholy. So they have their own dedicated burial sites called Bekabazayo, and they're usually land near their home, so they're buried on their own homeland. And they also believe that when you die, you are going home to where you belong. So it's a sense of respect and dignity, and a proper burial are needed. And it is thought that it is a curse for any individual to be cremated, so that is why they never cremate any of their dead. Also from another website I found called Countries and Their Cultures. Among the Zulu, the belief in ancestral spirits, or the Amadlozi or Abafanzi, it's always been strong. They've always believed in the afterlife and the spirits. Nkulunkulu, or means very big one, and it is their god. They have two different names for God, but I can't pronounce the other one. He appeared first. He is the supreme being and is far removed from the lives of the Zulu that no one has actually ever seen him, so there are no ceremonies ever performed for him. And Zulus believe in a long life that continues after death, so getting old is like a blessing to them. The elderly are sacred, and they are always respected just because they deserve it. Just kind of like when we learn always respect your elders. So then the background I got from my boyfriend's mother, her name is Tendai, and in Shauna, to say mom is Amai, so if that's how I refer to her, that's what I mean. She gave me a complete story rundown, point by point, of how a typical death and burial and celebration happens in their culture. So when someone dies, you call the elders, so the grandparents, the older aunts and uncles, all of the older relatives, and you gather around the deceased while saying the person's totem. And a totem is a domain name that kind of represents their tribe, represents their characteristics. So my boyfriend's tribe, he's from Zimbabwe and Harare, and they speak Shona, and his totem is an elephant, whereas Amai's, she is a gazelle. Elders then close the deceased's eyes and massage the body so that it is laying comfortably before the muscles become contracted and all that after, postmortem. It's to prevent the body from being in an awkward position when they place it on a bed. So the body is actually going to be in that bed, in that room, in the house for as long as it takes family and friends to come to the burial. After the dead is placed on the bed, people begin to cry out loudly, and that's in a way to tell the community around where they are, hey, there's been a death in this residence. They then hang red cloths on doorposts, the gates, and the fences around the home. And that's the signal that a death has happened at this homestead if anyone passes by. And then the body stays in the house for a full day where it is washed by the deceased person's friends. So like anyone that was extremely close to that person is who's going to do it. They embalm the body with oils and ointments, and then they dress it in the deceased person's favorite clothes, something that they would wear all the time, or just their favorite outfit. And also in Zulu culture is the person will have a favorite blanket, and that will also be buried with them. So like blankets are a big thing in Zulu culture. You gift them all the time. And this is actually one that my boyfriend got from his grandma that she handmade. And my boyfriend's grandfather recently passed away back in November. And it was really cool because while I never got to meet him, and they're not part of this, but his favorite blanket he was buried with was actually one that my boyfriend got him. So it was really cool to know about that and to hear about that. And I was able to speak with him before he passed away, so that was always really fun. After everyone has gathered, which it can take about a day to a week, it just kind of depends, a body viewing occurs and money is collected from the people that go to the funeral. That's just to cover costs of the funeral. And it's also, after that part of the process, they will go to a traditional witch doctor after the burial, and they will ask the witch doctor how the death occurred and who caused it, kind of thing. And a lot of people either take what the witch doctor said with a grain of salt and don't really believe it, and a lot of people are like, this is 100% fact. Headbands and wristbands are made out of the fabric from the deceased person's remaining clothing. They're woven and are placed on the heads and hands of the relatives of the deceased, and they are not to be removed until the burial. So if it falls off, you just put it back on, but you do not take it off, even like to shower, it stays on. At the burial, the cloths worn by the relatives are taken off and collected by close friends and the daughter-in-laws or just daughter-in-law, and that's kind of, oh, and then you also give them money, and that's just to pay respect to, like, they took care of the ceremony, they cooked, they did a lot of work, so it's just kind of to repay them for what they did. When you return from the cemetery, before you enter your gate or yard, there's a dish filled with water and herbs. It's like holy water to them. And you have to wash your hands before you enter because it's like cleansing off the evil spirits or the spirit of the dead from coming into the home with you, and it's a ritual cleansing. And after the ritual cleansing, the elders head out to the traditional witch doctor again to complete the cleansing ritual. The remaining clothes, furniture, and other possessions of the deceased are then either given to family members or they're burned. Just kind of depends. It always starts with immediate family first. So wife, children, stuff like that, and then anything left over will go down and down and down the family line. And then after a year, another memorial service is held. And this memorial service is just kind of like to bring back the spirit of the deceased. So it is said that the spirit comes back and talks through someone that is at the ceremony, kind of like a possession in a way. And the spirit tells everyone what's going on in the other world. And then they also bring back requests from the people at the ceremony to the other world that they may have, or anything like that. So I found it very interesting, even from talking to Amai for months now about her culture, because she's a different culture than Baba, which is dad in Shauna. They're of different cultures, and so it's really fun to see the difference. And still, from these two websites that I viewed, I have noticed great differences and even learned a lot more just from talking to her. And it was a really great experience to be able to talk to her more deeply about her culture and growing up, because in Africa, growing up, and even now, storytelling is a great thing. It's one of their favorite things to do, telling about their adventures growing up and everything that they've done. And especially when it comes to cultures being different than most of your family, it's extremely fun to listen to. Amai's culture has pretty much been kind of wiped out in a way. There's not many Zulu left, and if they are, they're more traditional. A lot of Zulu have conformed to Christianity due to colonialism, so not a lot of very original Zulu are still left. They're more Christianized and all that. So I hope you guys enjoyed my presentation, and thank you so much. Bye.